Hello again and welcome. Today I'm going to be trying my hand at making some posies. I'm going to watercolor them and hopefully I will be using them in collage. But they will be my own flower creations. I've picked two of Jane Davenport's first watercolor palettes, and I've added this one only because Jane does not provide too much green. I'm sure she just expects us to mix, but she has other colors that are more in her interest realm. So I went and got out my old handy dandy here because up here I have sap green and hooker's green and phthalo and undersea green, and over here I have some quinacridone gold and some phthalo violet and some mauve and purple lake, colors that I might want to use. But this piece of watercolor paper is the leftovers from this large sheet when I made these florals journals. So I'm going to work now and I'm going to work wet to dry because I want my colors to be particularly vivid. So off we go. I have my water, clean and dirty, up here. And I'm using my number 10 Princeton Neptune. And I'm going to plunge in. I think I'll pick this one. Put a nice watery bit of it over here. Saturate this brush nicely. And let's begin that flower, or the basics of that flower. Maybe another over here. Good. That is a good start. Now I'm going to add a little bit of a redder shade to that. I'm going to drop in some colors here into the wet areas and generally have watercolor fun and let watercolor happen. Try a little bit of this. Oh yes, that's a pretty color. Let's add some here. And a little bit more. Try some here. Well, I lost my yellow because it mixed in. I think I'll wait a little bit more or just put some right there. Whoop, that same thing happened again. Well, that's okay. And now let me have something nice and dark to drop in here. Oh yes. Now I'm going to let those settle a bit because they are very juicy. I think I shall have some hookers to lay on a suggestion of my stems. Let's add a little where it connects over here. Mustn't make these stems too fine because we do want them to make some, I do want them to make some sense for the flowers. And let's have a little more of that. And maybe another. Extend this a bit more. And one over here also. Now I think I'm going to add a little undersea just to take out some of the freshness here. I'm thinking a mixture of undersea and the hookers for just another addition in here, and maybe one over here also. Add a little color there. And let's see where the posies are going. Now just the green. Maybe let's do a let's have a nice bud. And some more green around that bud. Oh goodness, I have something. Fine little piece of dust. I'm not going to have that. So, now I'm going to add much more of that dark red. Just to add some depth of color up here. Alrighty, I'm going to dry. I'm going to dry these now. I do wish I had time to let them just sit and dry, but since these are for collage, I'm going to speed up the process. Now, while those complete their drying process, I'm going to do two more posies that will be shall we say more relaxed. I'm a girl who likes a relaxed posy. Whoops. Well, while my husband was talking to me from Pennsylvania, where he's gone to pick up a new model airplane, I did a little playing with one hand, and now I'm going to get back to some greenery. This time I'm going to use, I'm going to go with sap green. And I'm going to add a little of that, one of my purples into the stem here. And I'm going to do a little bit more more leaf adding here. Let's have this down as my basic here. And just a little bit of our purples in here. And here. And over here. Some of the dark purple here. Now some hint of green. This is absolutely more fun than I can stand. I love doing it. I'm seriously thinking about doing these and putting them on my Etsy shop. Because I have such fun making them. If I did put them in my Etsy shop, though, I would put them on this way so that the original posy would be used for your collage and not a print, because I think the point of this whole thing is to have some nice quality watercolor paper. Now I'm completely ignoring this puppy. I would appreciate some feedback if you think you might think that it would be a good idea for me to put some posies in my shop. Do let me know. Okay, now I'm thinking a little more. Little more green, a little more spice up here. Yes, that's better. Much better. I'll set this aside to dry. Let's have a look at this now. Almost. Well, I seem to have some pens missing in action. Oh, there they are, on my other work table. I'm thinking I'm going to use that one's a little fine. Alrighty, I'm going to use this Faber-Castell F because it is permanent. Well, let's let the playing begin. And work on this bud a little bit. And here we go. I don't want these doodle lines to be railroad tracks. Now for the grand experiment. Were I to offer them in my Etsy shop, I would send them like this so that you could use them in whichever way you desired. But since these are my very own, I'm going to trim them. This nice heavy watercolor paper here, Canson, and I'm using the grainy side here on this, so that's why the water pooled so nicely and didn't get crazy. Let me go over here now and just get the outline here cut. Well, I'm starting to really picture these. In my journals. Of course, the amount of watercolor paper left around the posy is personal choice. I might do this a little differently, were I not under a time constraint, because I don't want to totally waste your time watching me cut, but I also want you to see this, one of these big ones, completed. Almost. getting used to cutting with this type of scissor is going to take some doing. But let me clean up my bits now. On this one, I'm seeing that is quite tickling me. Oh my. Yes. Now, is this puppy dry enough? No, it is not, so I'm going to see about drying this, and I'll be back. Well, making these posies was more fun than I can stand, despite the fact that there is still a bit of that last phthalo violet wet on that one. But these are just making me happy, and I hope that you will try making some of your own. And I think the trick to some of this is allowing yourself to be loose, to put some a heavy dose of watercolor pigment on those so that they show, unless of course that you want something that is subtle. And I wasn't doing my subtle Carol today at all, as you can see. But these are fun to make and to plan to use in whatever way the spirit calls you. I do hope that you have enjoyed this morning's posy making. If you have, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share with a friend, and I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel. Bye now.